seems vaguely familiar.
What's up, toy collectors and action figure enthusiasts? It is time for the last episode of Alternate Heads for the year. Thank you for joining us out there in the super cool Nerd Nation as you join us for another hour, or extended a little bit of an hour, talk of all things plastic and collecting. My name is Jason the X. The guys over there on the table, there's Near, there's Bryce. We are late doing this episode. It is, if you follow, we normally do this on Saturdays usually, and we're a bit late this week, but we were doing other things. There's other things on the channel.
We had some shopping to do.
We had some Black Friday shopping to do, and some of us took advantage of a couple sales out there. Yeah. Why is he sitting there with his nose, finger? What the hell are you doing?
Man, I'm tired. I need a break.
Okay, well, we're gonna take one.
I'm gonna go home.
No, not now.
Not only are we not recording on Saturday, but we're recording days later and at night. I can't handle this kind of stress.
Do you need a power nap real quick?
Oh,
I always take a power nap before making big decisions.
I would also like to add, for anybody watching, that this show is not for 13 years or older. And I'm going to
this
13
show
years
is
or younger.
There you go.
So if you're 13 years or younger, go away. And just to prove it, I'm going to drink this adult beverage. Not like I coyly say on the live show. It's apple juice. No, this is a beer. So,
But man, season 1 of Alternate Heads coming to an end here.
yeah, normally I only drink whiskey in the mornings when we do the show. But, in coffee.
Oh, did you say coffee?
That's very convenient.
February 2020.
Coming soon.
So anyway, this is our last show until after the new year. We're going to take our break, enjoy our time with our families and whatever. And also toy collecting kind of dries up around this time anyway. So
yeah, it's not until like late December, early January. And so, we'll come back and we'll have like the new Marvel Legends waves and stuff like that.
Toy Fair will be right around the corner.
It's like true Christmas.
It's like the after Christmas. Anyway, so like I said, there's Near.
Hey.
There's Bryce.
Hey, everybody.
And on the table, those are some toys. So let's see what the new acquisitions for this week were. And this is a lot of stuff we got off of Black Friday as well.
But this really shows
How
why we take a break generally around the holidays, because this is it.
Truly. There's always
This is it.
There's always stuff for me to like order like from Japan. Like take for instance, this week I got the Beast Wars Black Arachnia. I love the Masterpiece. I was just talking about this figure on the show, and it's already out. So glad to have that. She turns into a really good spider, by the way. The new version 2 Masterpiece Bumblebee. The Ratchet, which was a Walgreens exclusive that we found on Black Friday. And the Spyro, which I got from a local shop here, Zeus Comics and Collectibles. I love that Spyro figure.
Oh yeah, it's a great figure.
That thing looks like it stepped off the screen.
That was one of those one figures that I spent forever looking for as well. I think I had given up finding it, and I was just like, screw it, I'm not going to find it anymore. And I went to a Target to actually go pick up groceries, and then when I went into the back, of course, there it was after I had given it up, and I was just like, all right, I'll take it. Like, Crash and Spyro, phenomenal figures.
And I finally picked up that Ezra from Rebels, which I know it's been out a while. I've never seen it. We were talking about this. Did that line ever make it to like regular brick and mortar stores?
I guarantee you it did. Because actually I do know it did, because that line, Ezra came out with Chopper and I believe Obi-Wan. And I remember finding Chopper and Obi-Wan in Targets before. So I guarantee
I found Chopper in Target.
I guarantee you Ezra came out then, but it was one of those things where in this particular case with Star Wars figures and other stuff like that, when it starts hitting things like GameStops, most of us, and especially I know what we do, we generally just go and pay the extra like $3 per figure because it's right then and there. Because a good example is Avengers Endgame figures. We still don't have those, and I think I saw one at Walmart. I still haven't seen it. I really haven't seen them in the wild.
Can you move the Ratchet so that I can show off the other Ratchet? I say that. I took advantage of, there we go, because I'm going to admit to something. Because I got the Square Arts 2B. We found at Anime Pop.
It's pretty arts.
I thought it was a different figure because I actually have one that I was kind of about. And it comes to find out these are both from Square Arts. And she just came with a lot more parts, a lot more weapons, like her spear and everything.
Yeah, because
but also interchangeable britches. So,
What more can you ask for?
well, I mean, I played that game with her that way. I'm sorry, you can call me Fox News. She wasn't wearing any. She wasn't wearing
You've
no pants.
already
Okay?
been blocked on Twitter. Stop it.
So, yeah, it's actually a really nice figure. It came with a lot more accessories. I'm very happy with that, and I think that's all I got this week. But I do want to showcase. You might notice that Lord Zedd up there, which is not a new acquisition, but what is a Lord Zedd Throne, and I actually got the pedestal as well. I bought a 3D printed file, but I got it done by a local guy here, Nerdy Notionz. He's done some 3D printing work for me. If you have something that you need done, I'd say he's the guy to go to. I have a link for him down in the description. But that's a very nice Zedd Throne. That's not the final product. It's a bit small, but I want to take it and show it off. My buddy Z does some great work. That's an unfinished, unpainted thing right there. Once I get my my actual size one, I'll finish it up. But looking at it, that is a good solid piece.
It really is.
It's good for an accessory too. Just
because I mean, how else are you gonna really have Zedd displayed other than just sitting in his throne? I mean,
that's a perfect thing. He's got to be in it. Zedd's got to be in his throne.
I say so.
Yeah. So yeah, good piece. When I get the sized up model, look for some pictures. Maybe we'll throw them on the alternate heads page and just show it off how it looks once I get everything done. And yeah, if you need some accessories for your figures, because I also found some 3D printed files for lightning collection weapons. So
I'll take this as an opportunity because I never mentioned it on the show. If you want to follow our Instagram for the show, it's at Alternate Heads Podcast.
We have an Instagram?
Yeah, we have an Instagram.
You know, Lord Zedd, couldn't he also, work out a trade and sit on Emperor Palpatine's throne?
It's not a good aesthetic. Zedd has a big Z on his throne.
I'm just
saying.
saying he could have picked up an extra throne, at a garage sale.
One, that's an Amazon exclusive only. Two, that particular throne is really tiny because it's meant to fit Emperor Palpatine. And Emperor Palpatine,
he's a bony old man.
He's
yeah. True.
So yeah, and I got one for Draken too. So when I get them in, I'll show them off. Maybe I'll actually have them sanded and finished by the time we come back.
It'll look good.
All right, Bryce, what have you got this week?
I've got some awesome finds from Dallas Vintage Toys that
You're welcome.
Yeah, right.
I believe that I should be the one that says you're welcome.
Well,
I pulled you back.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
We were about to leave the store, by the way, and I went, "Wait, weren't we supposed to look for Bryce?" He went, "Oh yeah." So we split off, and I found those, and I was like, "Jason, I think they're over here." Jason pulled out the phone. And he only sent you the picture of Sam, and I was like, "Look, there's other stuff here too." So
yeah, thank you for the tips.
I'm the voice in the back of Jason's head that tells him to not forget about Bryce.
Yeah.
Don't you?
You guys didn't forget about me on Black Friday shopping. I have you to thank, both of you. Thank you very much for the Metals Die-Cast Cape Crusaders and their slick ride.
Cora is also to thank.
Cora, yeah.
Oh yes, and Cora. Thank you, Cora. That's right.
So what you got there? What's with the shovel?
All right, so we got some fine.
It took me to just now to realize what figure that is.
These are some ultra fine products from NECA. I love their retro cloth. You got Dr. Herbert West from the Reanimator movie.
Oh.
Yep.
Jeffrey Combs is the actor. That's a perfect likeness for Jeffrey Combs.
The syringe is what made me realize what movie that was from.
Right?
The
it was
cloth
the dark
goods on these are damned impressive.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. And you've got Dr. Carl Hill in the. Oh, it fell down.
What fell down?
Dr. Carl Hill in the. Well,
and there goes the head.
His head just fell off.
Don't worry about it. It's there.
It's there.
He owns it.
It was there. And you got the reanimated cat, and it's a terrific packaging of accessories with Herbert West. It's terrific what NECA did with this. Also on the table to Herbert's right is Captain Blake from The Fog. I love that John Carpenter movie, and that is a fantastic looking, grotesque zombie pirate. Captain Blake.
It does look good.
Adrian Barbeau.
Yes, Adrian Barbeau. You bet. And just a little bit of Jamie Lee Curtis in there as well from The Fog. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So over here on the far left, we've got Sam.
Damn.
From Trick or Treat, and I love this 8-inch scale figure. He's obviously not 8 inches tall, but he shouldn't be. You've got the hood as well as the authentic face that looks just like he came out of the film, and of course he's got his sharp lollipop that he will murder with. So it's fantastic. I love this presentation on this dirty looking figure, and Sam is dirty looking in the film. So
I'm more impressed by the cloth goods on the Reanimator, because I mean, you got the tie and the shirt. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
We have a lot of discussion because we like to poke fun at each other about do we like plastic versus cloth. But if we all come to outside of that joke, I think we all have that middle where we wish it was kind of a mixture of both. Because like we'll talk about that.
I think we're going to see it when we start talking about the top 10 of the year.
Because we talk about that with Star Wars stuff too. It's like all the time. It's just
like even with this Moon Knight figure, I found a snowtrooper and he had this cape, and this looks so much better. Then I probably should put the camera.
Yeah, you're swinging a figure at us.
This is a cape from the snowtrooper, because I got it in one of those mystery boxes, and I was like, that would look good on Moon Knight. And
fun fact, they're selling the snowtrooper separately too.
So yeah, just and it's double stitched and everything.
That is really, I didn't know you had that. That's really good.
I just picked it up, but it definitely looks better. Like Nate was saying,
you just
there's
picked it
some
up?
middle ground that we could find.
Why didn't you put it on the table?
Well, no, the Moon Knight's an old figure.
Oh,
it's an old figure. The cape itself is and that's stuff that we're going to talk about when we get there. When we talk about all of the other figures,
But anyway, I want to hear more about this the Michael Myers there. So that's a NECA retro cloth there.
Yeah, this is the
Why
brand
is it
new
in
one.
The package then.
I wanted to show it in the package because the other ones are not in package, but I wanted you to see it in the package because I do think it is a really strong presentation in the package.
I can't see it. It's too dark. You have to open it.
I'll open it up. I will open it up during the show.
I like the packaging.
I do too.
Because I own the NECA Michael Myers from the same movie, but not in retro cloth. I owned it in like the first one that came out. It's the same packaging, just minus the flap window, and then of course different shots. But like on the side of the box, you get the close-up zoom in on Michael Myers' face. They had that on the front of the box instead, but I like the window because just the way that presentation looks. It's really good.
Yeah, this is an outstanding product. I've been waiting for NECA to do this in retro cloth. I actually have a custom Michael Myers at home that was released prior to this. It was a limited run by a different toy company, but this is an awesome Michael Myers, and it's the updated version from the film that came out in 2018. So I'm very pleased with this figure. I haven't opened it yet, but I'm going to open
other
it.
figures you got on the table. Yeah, that's
this,
really good.
I'm waiting for NECA to do hint Laurie Strode, please, from the original.
Oh, you want a cloth
film.
goods?
I want a cloth goods Laurie Strode from 1979.
Boy,
please.
you ain't getting that.
Yeah, I predict I will.
Oh,
I predict I will.
Listen to the confidence in his voice.
I'm not saying it's coming in 2020, but I'm saying it's coming.
Okay.
Because I think the demand is there.
Jason, open up the long-term bets under the desk.
It's coming.
I've kind of lost some of those, actually.
Hang in there.
Is that why you won't open them?
No. Might find some receipts out on there. All right.
So I forgot to mention Holy Metal Small Collectibles.
We were thinking of you.
Yes, thank you again, gentlemen.
There's a Robin in the passenger seat too, which
there is. It's great, and I did not realize until looking at this Hollywood Rides, there are more of these. So,
oh yeah.
So when you guys go back to the store, pick me up the rest of them, please.
Oh, I did forget the one big thing that I got sitting over here. So GameStop had a 50% off all Overwatch material, which I instantly was going to go get some more Figmas. I wanted the Diva kind of, but instead I got a Weapon of Destruction. A freaking 1/1 scale Soldier 76 blaster. This thing is great.
Do not shoot me again.
Well, first of all, you shot yourself.
No, you shot me earlier.
No, I shot the wall and you happened to get hit.
You grazed me.
I want to thank you for shooting me in the back twice as I requested because it felt good, and I'm going to set up some sort of a massage appointment later where you can shoot me some more.
Thank you for not being a wuss about a Nerf rival ball. Anyway,
Funny
story. Nate managed to shoot the ground and then himself in the crotch because it ricocheted off the floor, which was the highlight of my weekend, by the way.
So you pulled a John Candy, except you didn't do it in the wreck-a-mole.
Man, I don't even know how it happened. I wasn't even aiming below.
I heard it go off.
I aimed behind. Like, I aimed it like right in front of me, like just down and slanted, because I wanted the ball to bounce and then go next to Jason as well to make it definitely seem like it. But instead, the little blue balls made mine. And
I heard the gun go off, and I just see him bent over. And I'm like, "What just happened here?"
Was there a whimper?
no, I believe
was a sound.
I believe my exact sound was because Cora was watching me the whole time. She was just like,
And she actually made out with some stuff on Black Friday too, which
she did.
You should have worn a cup.
Yeah, or just not.
When I come to this studio, I might as well be.
See, that's why I don't shoot the ground. I shoot people.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that it for you, Bryce?
That is it for me.
All right, Neil, what you got this week?
Man, like we said, this is one of the reasons why we have a smaller acquisition. For my Black Friday pickup, I picked up the SH Figuarts Broly, the non-overpowered version. They happen to have it at Dallas Vintage Toys.
Welcome to that new voice.
Yeah, now voiced by Johnny Young Bosch.
Johnny Young Bosch.
It looks good. I like this figure a lot because even though it's not overpowered Broly, which is fine, I really liked that movie. I really liked that character. So ultimately, we got this version of Broly, and it did come with two very alternate heads. Roll credits.
Are you happy I didn't steal your joke?
Anyway. No, just roll the credits now.
No, I don't. We don't have credits.
We'll make credits. So it came. It came with two alternate heads. It came with one version of him getting really angry and having all the hair spiked, and then it came with a Super Saiyan version as well. So great figure. Love the posability. I will talk about this figure again later. I also managed to snag the Diamond Select Spider-Man Far From Home. That was a Disney Store exclusive. I actually went out looking for something different, and then my wife and I popped in the Disney Store, and there it was. I had been looking for this one. I stopped collecting Diamond Select for a little while because their figures were hit and miss. Like, if I opened them out of the packaging and I wiggle like this and all of the limbs go everywhere, it's not a good figure. And that was like my basic trend. Like, I did that with the Iron Man as well. That was one of those cross the lines, but I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite heroes. Pick this one up. Really good figure. The joints are all great. It has a better proportion. The lines are there. I love this figure. It's absolutely phenomenal. I also managed to finally get in my New York Comic Con exclusive gray Hulk, but I got it from Amazon after a bunch of yelling at Amazon because they tried to screw me over with it, and I'm not going to go into that. I did manage to get my figure, so here he is, gray Hulk, orange jacket.
I need to check that one out once we stop. I still got to.
Crushed pipe.
I still going to get the green one that's got the Wolverine. I still don't have that. So.
They have different heads as well. I mean, yeah, everything body-wise, including the accessories, are exactly the same, other than the fact that we got the crushed pipe from the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Right.
So that's the only part that I wanted.
Crushed pipe.
Got the crushed pipe. But it did come with a different head with like a different hairstyle, everything in it. It's a good...
Did he come with different hands?
No.
Oh, okay.
He came exactly like this.
All right.
But it's a solid figure. I generally didn't collect a lot of Hulk figures growing up, so this is the first time that I own multiple Hulks, and it's weird because like I'll even go out and try to find that Diamond Select Hulk eventually. But it's a good solid Hulk figure, big, bulky. It's what you want from Hulk. And then
he's not tall enough.
Well, he is when he's next to Marvel Legends.
Okay.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, look at Ezra. Now this is the way.
I'm so jealous that he has that figure over there.
I managed to order it day one off of their website for pickup, and I was still a little upset because I didn't get mine until like a week after everybody else got theirs. But Black Friday, mine was available for pickup, and I didn't see it until the next day, like next morning, and I went and picked it up. I managed to get the Star Wars Black Series Best Buy exclusive Heavy Infantry Mandalorian figure. And this thing's a beast.
It looks
big,
fantastic,
bulky. We found out that all of it has articulation. You can even move the giant gun so it can plug into the back if you don't want them like just holding it. So we can just stay there perfectly. You can apparently also get the pulse replat, like the I can't speak. The
repulsor blast.
I'm tired, okay? I'm past my bedtime. No, the repulsor blast effects that you get from Iron Man, you can actually plug them into the bottom of the jetpack, and it works.
Wow.
So if I wanted to pose him flying, I could.
You should.
I probably will at some point. Point is though that I managed to get it, and after watching 4 episodes of The Mandalorian, I'm all in the show. Like just give me all the figures. Give me them all. Other than that, that's all of the acquisitions I got. I did get the Purge Trooper from the new Star Wars Black Series, stuff like that too. I know that was supposed to be the exclusive figure if you bought the bundle for Fallen Order. I just forgot to bring it. It was in the Star Wars box.
You were sending me the joints on it.
Yeah,
double jointed elbows.
It's double jointed elbows. Granted, it has the same amount of like range as single jointed elbows, but I mean, it's nice. From doing more research, I don't think that's the first time a trooper has gotten double jointed elbows. By the way,
no, it's not.
But
I also got to thank you though for getting me the Cara Dune. After I saw like 3 more on the shelves after you got this for me, but
I saw 2 more after I picked that
double
one
jointed elbows. But yeah, Gina Carano's character from The Mandalorian, which I'm very happy about. Just the introduction of her character, but thank you. But I got you another Kaz that you plan to.
Yes.
Your other one was loose. That's
yeah.
right.
So the bottom joint on the knee was loose, and I was like, well, I could probably fix that. So what I ended up doing was I was going to try to cut off the piece on top that has that Cass was holding, or not holding, but that vest piece that he's got. I tried to cut that off. If you remove that, it looks so uneven because they didn't fix it. So like right where the torso joint is, it's perfect on the back, but if you open the front part of it, there is a hole right where his torso joint is. So if you cut that off, it's just a hole in his chest. So that figure became useless to me after I tried to do that.
Then.
So don't remove those, because I was gonna make a customized Star Wars figure, and I was gonna just remove the head, do some paint work with some of the other stuff. And the moment I took that off, I was like, well, now that makes it useless because I cut off all the straps. Whatever.
Tisk. Well, all right. So there's all of our acquisitions for this week, and honestly, we were noticing out at Black Friday, not a lot of people out.
There really weren't. We managed to get in and out of certain places pretty quickly. Like Target didn't have a whole lot of places. Best Buy was surprisingly empty, considering I've been in Best Buy every Black Friday for the last like 6 years.
It was busy, but not like crazy.
No, it wasn't like what it used to be. I mean, to the point where when me and you went in there, we both bought a video game and managed to be next in line instantly to check out.
Yeah, we were in it.
Wow.
There was no line. We just walked to the front, left.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
So
I bought a few movies late Friday night after leaving the family turkey celebration. I bought a few movies late at night, but I think
a lot of stuff was just bought online this year. And honestly,
Yeah.
Toy collecting for us kind of slows down anyway.
Right.
Because we're like right before the holidays. There was a dog in here. Go on. Go.
It was a good time to just have a little cut point.
Don't work with pets and don't work with kids anyway. So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and move on to the new stuff for this week, which isn't a lot either.
Yeah, it's not a lot. A lot of the pictures that me and you sent between each other were honestly the exact same pictures.
Why don't you go ahead and kick it off then?
Okay. So there was a convention recently. I don't remember what convention it is. I can't keep track of all the conventions that happen overseas and stuff like that. But we managed to get our first looks at some of the new Mafex figures coming out. And I've mentioned this before. I only own one Mafex. That is the Dark Knight Joker. And it's okay. It has a lot of QC issues. I don't even display it anymore because of the fact that it has.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it had a lot of problems. Like the arm popped off in multiple spots. So I didn't want to collect any more Mafex figures for what I was pumping out. Mafex is apparently turned around. Granted, you'll never get your figures on time, depending on when you order it. But we got our first look at Mafex Superman from Batman Hush, if I'm not mistaken.
That is Batman Hush.
So we got our first looks at Superman, and he looks godly.
Wire in the cloth cape.
Yes, there's wire in the cloth cape. He's got a lot of good poses that he can do, a lot of good color schemes. A lot of people have complained that he doesn't have a smiling face because he's not Superman, but you have to realize that because it's from Batman Hush, they're going based off what's in that comic. So
right,
it would have been nice to have a smiling face. I get where it's coming from.
Or just a more kind of...
Just a happier face other than just like, I'm somewhat displeased at you and now I'm very angry.
Right.
Looks really good.
It looks phenomenal. Well, the one that's really going to get me is this Mafex comic book accurate Carnage. This looks good.
Okay. This looks flat.
So there has been a lot of discussion about that.
Oh, okay.
One of the discussion points is, it looks very plain. We have to realize that it's his first appearance. So that's the way he looks, like he's in the comics. If you pull up comic book panels, that's exactly what it is.
Close up, I do see some molding on it.
Yeah.
The black lines are molded. From afar, it looked painted on, which I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, everything is molded, but the reason it looks so plain is because all of the Carnage figures that we've had additional pieces on top of it to make it look more three-dimensional. So like the Revoltech one had a whole lot of crap on it. The ones from Marvel Legends had those additional pieces to make it look like he was having tendrils come out. And to be fair, that's going to happen with this one too. You have accessories to go around the arms. You have accessories that can go on his arms, so you can replace his arms with certain weapons, and it looks great. It comes with three heads. It comes with a normal head, comes with an angry head, and then comes with a Cletus Cassidy head. Like, it actually does look phenomenal.
And I actually did pull up an image of the first appearance of Carnage. It's spot on.
It's like it took it off the page, which is really what really drew my attention to it. I honestly still want the Mafex Venom. I just haven't gone out and gotten him because I don't want to pay for shipping or anything. I just wish I had him.
Like, I'm sharing an image in our chat with you guys. That's spot on.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal.
Is this the 7-inch scale?
They're a little shorter.
Okay.
They don't quite scale in with Marvel Legends. I want to say they're a little smaller. They're what, 5 3/4?
They're a little bit smaller. It's kind of why I don't get them.
Yeah, like
that would be my thing.
If you collect Mafex, you collect Mafex. You don't try to forge them in with other parts of your display.
Not for me.
Like my Joker is okay, but like it really depends on what figure you're getting.
I like the sculpt though.
We also did get a official package shot of Stan Lee, the new Marvel Legend that's supposed to come out in June, which is weird because we got the picture of the figure, we got the picture of the package, then we got the picture of the figure in the package. So it begs to question: are we still waiting till June to get the figure?
I pre-ordered mine through Target, so I'm really hoping they don't screw this up.
I'm hoping I get them sooner, but I mean, it looks pretty. I can't wait. Well, we've been waiting for this one when he was the Build-A-Figure for the 2-pack.
Well, this is an homage piece right here. So
we knew this was going to have to come after his passing, but I'm really happy to get this. I wanted him in my collection to begin with. Another convention happened. We got our first look at a few other 1,000 toys. We knew about the Hellboy. We love the Hellboy. We got to see more of Ape Sapien. We knew that was coming.
Ape.
But now...
It's not Ape. It's Abe.
Did I say Ape?
You said Ape.
I'm sorry. I meant Abe Sapien.
Put the respect on his name.
I'll leave. This will be...
Sit down. Go.
We got our first look at Rasputin.
Mm-hmm.
And I have questions about it, but... so far, based off of what I have from that Hellboy figure, it's really good.
And we know we're getting those Devil May Cry figures that look really good as well.
Too bad they were stolen.
Ooh.
Did we find... Do we have any news on that?
So, you've seen that Hellboy figure. You've admired that. So they're also making some Devil May Cry figures, which you covered on the show. Someone stole their prototypes from the convention they were at.
Yeah. Someone reached in and stole both of them.
The Dante and not Virgil, but the other guy.
I couldn't tell you.
The other boring one. Anyway,
I hope those people get caught.
Yeah, those were prototypes. They were not final product.
They weren't finalized. They weren't even painted. They were just...
No. These were painted, but they were hand painted. These were protos. Like they... So,
no footage, no video cam.
It was supposedly done after the show.
They apparently do have footage. I don't know if anything came from it. We only last heard about it like last week, but I don't know when it's...
Still, it's a scummy thing to do, and if you cause my order to be held up,
yeah, I don't play Devil May Cry. Like, I own 2 of the games. I just never got around to playing them.
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of things that we don't get ourselves involved in. But we appreciate.
I like to buy pretty figures.
These were good looking figures. I mean, after the Hellboy, I'm pretty much sold on 1,000 toys.
Oh so. Yeah. Which brings us back to Rasputin. It
looks a little plain.
It doesn't look like it's got a lot of articulation. For one of the cool things is they did have the mixture of like cloth goods and plastic goods, just the sweet spot. But here it looks like the entire cloak is plastic, and I can't tell if it's like going to be a hollow tube. Is it going to be a body underneath? Is it just what's going on? I don't feel like it should be because this is 1,000 Toys, and I really like the Hellboy
I'm
figure.
not going to base it off of this one picture.
I need to see more because this could very well just be a prototype as well, and it's just showing us like what it could be. Because if you really look into it, doesn't look like there's any articulation in the arms either.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So
I believe in them because they've produced quality materials that I've had in my hand. So
now
we're good.
If we move over to Amazing Yamaguchi, there are two things that I will talk about. First one is the one I'm least excited about, but doesn't mean I'm not excited, is the Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman was also on display at that convention, and she looks great. I'm getting my very first Amazing Yamaguchi figure probably this upcoming December or January. I ordered that Harley Quinn. Amazing Yamaguchi always kind of threw me off because they had really outrageous
you got to hold that Wolverine.
Yeah, like Wolverine. You had Magneto with the freaking thighs of steel. It didn't make sense. But when you put those disproportionate features onto the Wonder Woman, it looks good.
You mean it looks thick with two C's?
Exactly.
Thick.
Now,
extra thick.
She does come with additional accessories from what we saw. Like she'll come with a cape. She'll come with additional pieces. Like it's actually looking pretty good.
This is a very dynamic looking figure. Like even this is a picture of it standing still.
Yeah. There were some more pictures. I couldn't find all the rest of them, but it comes with a lot of them. Yeah, that's the Amazing Yamaguchi Wonder Woman.
I love the shield.
It looks great. It's got that mixture of classic and modern look to the actual design. Like I said, I'm starting to collect the DC versions of the Amazing Yamaguchi figures because they do look good. If they bring out a Flash, I'm sold. I'm gonna go grab it, no problem. But then at this convention, they also showed the My Hero Academia figures.
Did you watch that show?
I couldn't be more excited, even though I'm so sad that I have to keep buying more and more My Hero Academia figures from different companies. And I told my wife about it. I was like, they're making All Might and Midoriya, which we knew that they were making. But then they actually showed us Midoriya. And yeah, some of the joints look a little gappy, especially in the shoulders. But
that's just the way Amazing Yamaguchi.
Yeah, that's the way they go. Plus, it's still a prototype, so we don't know what it's going to do. But then they showed one where it wasn't painted. And good God, the range of motion on this thing. I need it. I want it.
So I'm going to make an admission here.
My body's ready.
I don't get My Hero Academia figures. I really like how these look.
So you're a fan of the show, but
I'm a fan of the show, but the figures don't do it for me.
The McFarlane figures are a little off. I collected them. Spoiler alert, they are not in my top 10 for the year. I like the My Hero Academia figures that came from McFarlane, but there was a lot of problems with them as well. Like All Might wasn't sculpted the way I would wanted him to be. His head was small. It's an old toy trick where you make smaller characters with bigger heads to make them seem smaller next to a bigger character with smaller heads to make them seem bigger. But they had a lot of problems. I love them to death, but I had to redo my Midoriya because the face just did not look good. I basically took a statue's head and like hot glued it on. If I had to do that much customization work to be happy with a figure from you, then there's something wrong. Now, these Amazing Yamaguchi figures look great, and according to the way that they're standing, if you have Midoriya next to All Might, the scale looks well. That's what I want. All Might's meant to be big. He's bulky. He's massive. He looks great. I can't wait to see a final product. The moment these things go up for solicitation, I'm buying them. I will buy them both. They've got me. They whispered to me delicately to give me the money, and I gave them the money. So we got a tease from Jazzwares. I've talked about this before where I do collect the Jazzwares Fortnite figures. I stopped collecting the McFarlane ones other than Peely, but they gave us our first look at Rustlord. I have no idea who that is.
Me either.
I know nothing about Fortnite. I know that it's supposed to be somewhat similar to PUBG, but way more complicated. I don't know a lot about PUBG either. But when it comes to these figures, they're great. I brought one over for Jason to take a look at. I brought him over the abstract one. It wasn't anything crazy or wacky, but they've got some decent articulation to them.
They're quality figures. There's no doubt about that.
They will fit in your 6-inch Marvel Legends line as well. They're a little bit bigger, but they'll fit in pretty well. But Jazzwares doesn't do a whole lot of promotion. They just kind of
Just release.
yeah. So when Wave 2 hit, people were just like, oh, I guess Wave 2's out. And even then, Wave 2's not fully out. I still don't own Valkyrie. So I have no idea what's going on there. But those Jazzware figures look great. So we've got a tease of Rust Lord. We had a tease of Raven. I don't know. I think Peely's supposed to be in that wave as well for Wave 3. Granted, it's the first time in a while where I've ever had to go look for a figure not using the internet. Just like, oh, hey, look. Jazzwares released some new Fortnite figures. All right, cool. Let me go grab the banana. It's just the way that it kind of works. So I guess that's cool, but
more bananas.
They're there.
More like, gun wielding bananas.
I'm still on the hunt for the 3-inch version of Peely.
I need those too. Anyway, what else you got?
Moving on, we had a lot of SH figure arts reveals as well. Normally,
Why are
I don't
putting these up. These are expensive.
Because certain SH figure arts matter to me. Like I do Broly, I do Naruto SH figure arts, even though they haven't done anything with the Naruto line in a long time. Star Wars. I don't collect any of the Star Wars ones, but they showed a lot. So we got a few Stormtroopers that we got to look at. They're Stormtroopers. They're Scout Troopers. Not much more to say. They look okay. They look okay for what they are. We got a look at the Knights of Ren from the new Star Wars movie. They look okay. I mean, I would like them in Black Series form. I know we're going to get one in Black Series form. But, I mean, we got our first look at the Knights of Ren. And, I mean, they look cool. I don't know anything.
It's more than we've seen them in the movies.
Exactly. I mean, it's just the way it works. We did get our first look at Emperor Palpatine, though. Which I have a lot of questions about.
That face, when he's flanked by the Imperial Guards there, that is a face that just says, nope. Goodbye.
Like,
get in the van, little boy.
I have a lot of questions I have a lot of questions though, because it looks like the cloth goods are still cloth, and then you have of course the plastic robes. Does this mean he has interchangeable torsos? Because it doesn't look like he does a lot of moving.
Oh my god, I'm willing to bet that lower section is just molded to sit in that chair.
I bet you it is too. Like that's what I'm thinking, is because the top portion looks fine.
It's accurate.
He didn't do a whole lot in those movies. Like, yeah, he's the reason behind it, but he didn't move a lot. Like, it's just fine. He's an old man.
He fell down a reactor shaft.
But that was with the help of Vader. Okay, and that comes in our next line. But, like, I guarantee you that those looks just kind of molded on there. Like, you get the throne. So does this mean I'd be paying a lot? I'm not getting this one. I am definitely sticking with my with my Black Series Palpatine.
Right.
But, I mean, I just thought that was a little interesting. But then, of course, we got the good ones because we're all fans of Mandalorian here. So we got our first look at IG-11. And I like my IG-11 Black Series, but it does not have the posability that this SH Figure Arts IG-11 clearly does. Because, you know, when you see him in the original movies, when you see IG-88, you're like, oh, well, IG-88.
He stands there.
He just kind of stands there. But then we saw Mandalorian. He did a whole bunch of twisties and shooties and self-destructing and, you know, so on and so forth. This is what I want now.
Yeah, he was dancing almost.
Yeah.
But man, standing next to that IG-11
is the Mandalorian himself, which I have a lot of problems with, and I need it immediately, though.
No, you just have a lot of problems.
So
financial or otherwise?
No. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay,
but
never mind.
Okay.
The gun is very nicely painted, by the way. Actually, it's very nicely molded.
I think I can spoil it a little bit for Bryce because they showed it in the first episode too. So I want the Mandalorian though because it looks great. He's got a lot of decent poses. The Mandalorian itself is one of my new favorite characters anyway. He comes with a lot of guns. He comes with the plasma rifle. It's the pulse rifle. He's got a bunch of cool features. He's got a cloth goods cape, which I really, really like. I like the way that it's sculpted. My biggest problem with it overall is just, you know, the Mandalorian just changes so much. Because like you saw in episode 1, he changed his pauldron like instantly.
Yep.
And that doesn't match what we've been getting product-wise. And that bothers me.
Be patient, Padawan.
I know we'll get it with the Black Series when they come and talk to us
Just
in February. But I'm going to end up ordering this Black Series SH Figure Arts Mandalorian. And he is going to be forever posed on a shelf. And it will look glorious. Otherwise, that's all I have for Toy News.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bryce, what are you sharing this week?
Well,
something you didn't share a couple of weeks ago. Anyway.
Right. Figures Toy Company has decided to give you a blast from the past, from the 70s. So get your ramp built that will probably, you want to make at least a 10 or 20 foot ramp.
Get over Snake River Canyon?
Yeah. Make it at least jump your car or your neighbor's car. You've got Evel Knievel in various uniforms. I had the Evel Knievel figure as a kid, and I had the bike, and it was one of the most fun toys I ever had. It was made by Ideal back in the day, and it was awesome. That thing would jump, and off the ramp, you'd get it going, and that thing would skid across the floor, and it was fantastic. But yeah, so they've got various looks for Evel Knievel. They've got him in a couple of different jumpsuits. This is a continuation of their Evel Knievel line that they started, I don't know, at least a couple of years ago, and now they're reissuing some figures because they sold out. That's how popular this was. So it's apparently it was a big seller, and they're going to continue the line, and they've even got him in the yellow suit, which they never had that back in the day when I was a kid.
You don't have a picture of the yellow suit? I want to see this white and blue suit.
I sent one in the chat. The yellow suit. Yeah, there's another one it's a variant. So they've got variants galore on Evel Knievel. It's a good looking product. They've got at least 5 different Evel Knievels available on their site. On to new reveals that they revealed this week. Abin Sur, the Green Lantern, prior to Hal Jordan, who gave Hal Jordan his power ring. You've got him in his Super Friends version from the cartoon.
Did he make an appearance on Super Friends?
He did.
He
did.
Okay.
I believe you.
He did indeed. Yep. So you've got that Abin Sur. You've also got Hugo Strange, Batman's nemesis in Batman's costume. That's a new reveal that's coming from Figures Toy Company. That's a great looking sculpt. It looks like it's right out of the comic book.
Yeah, considering they have that back panel of the toy on there.
I just wish it was beefier, but that's just,
Strange.
The sculpt's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Figures Toy Company does some good work with these cartoons and these comic book releases for DC Comics. It's fantastic. Now, what I'm really excited about, and I
see the yellow jumpsuit is at the end. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. What I am over the mountains and
Bryce, get off that mountain.
And higher than heaven about is these Filmation versions from the New Adventures of Batman. You have these versions of Joker and Batman, and they look 100% accurate from the cartoon.
The Batman does.
I like the Joker.
You know what? I don't like the Joker, but I will admit that is how he looked on screen.
It is.
I love it.
I mean, I'm noticing a lot of reuse in some of these.
It is.
Which,
there is some reuse.
You're never going to see any company not do reuse. It's just not going to happen.
There's a little bit of reuse, but actually, this is a new vest.
Oh, I meant for Batman.
Oh, sorry. Yes, for the Batman, that is some reuse. But what I love about these two sculpts, aside from the Joker's new clothing, new apparel, these remind me of the Migos from when I was a kid. They're always smiling. They got the big smiles on their face, and it's no different. This is the Batman I've been wanting for the last decade, since Figures Toy Company started remaking Migos.
It's kind of got that triangle head thing going, like Arsenio Hall back in the
90s. You talking about Bruce? You talking about Adam?
No, Joker. It's got that
the Joker. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that at all.
Man, he looks good. I really do like this Joker.
Yeah, these two figures are.
I'm gonna put like the original cartoon artwork in there.
Okay,
just that's accurate.
Yeah, these two figures are gonna sell. I predict sell out. because these are that good.
No.
Those two figures are that good.
There's one I'm waiting for you to get to. So
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. As far as Figures Toy Company goes, I think that's it. And then we're going to move on to Mego is in Walmart's. I mentioned this the last Alternate Heads episode.
is that a picture you took?
That is a picture that I no, I did not take this one.
Okay.
Because I haven't found them.
Didn't I take this one?
No.
I
But you
sent
did
you
send me one. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I should have included that one in there. But just so you know, Mego is available in Walmart's.
So I found this really funny because
Yeah.
me and you were joking on that episode of Alternate Heads.
Mhm.
Hey, I bet you're not going to find Migos at Walmart's because Dallas hates us.
Right.
And then I go to Walmart. It's literally the next visit to Walmart that I take after we record that. And I walk over into my area and I'm like, there's a bunch of Lord of the Rings. These are all Migos. I'm going to just take a picture of these and send them to Bryce real quick. It was immediate. Like,
Wow.
We actually got them. Like, and ever since I've been back to any Walmarts, if I ever go back to Walmarts, I've checked those sections now because there is that extra section in the electronics department. So now when you go back to the electronics department to ask someone for help in toys, they can, in fact, help you now. I went back there. Every time I go back there, yeah, there's stuff there. I mean, granted, right now it's just Lord of the Rings that I'm seeing, but
Right.
it's still something. It means you're still getting that section.
That's cool. I haven't seen them yet. But
Yeah, there's like anime stuff too. I think it's
Okay.
like I found Dragon Stars, these like off-brand Dragon Ball Z character figures that I actually own. Like you'll see McFarlane and NECA
Right.
and stuff like that. Like it's a decent area now.
Okay. All right. Big news for Mego. They have new pre-orders for their 8-inch line on Entertainment Earth. I have no pictures to show you yet, but they have pre-orders for Captain Picard, Data, a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde figure, the Fly, which we have talked about before. They did have a prototype for that. They also have Harold the Scarecrow from Scary Stories After Dark. Twilight Zone Canamet from the episode To Serve Man, which is actually been released before in the 8-inch format. So I'm curious to see how they're going to differentiate from that previous release.
Twilight Zone's so good.
It really is. They're also going to have a Linda Blair Exorcist figure, according to these pre-orders.
Vito.
You're scared of that one?
I don't want to talk about it.
It's going to be great. And then they also have Lord of the Rings Gandalf, which I'm very interested to see. And they also have a Mego 8-inch Stan Lee figure coming. So there's a variety of figures coming, and I am mostly excited about the Star Trek and the monster figures, but I welcome any and all new Megos. So I'm excited to see, prototypes and in-package shots of those figures for sure. I can't wait.
All right, get to the one that I'm looking for.
I'm not sure what you're looking for, but
You
I'll
just keep
talk
on
about.
going.
I'll talk about NECA.
I'm pretty sure it's this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So I'm gonna talk about NECA shipping this week, which is gonna be awesome because I can't wait for my ability to consume and obey when I get these two They Live figures. Cannot wait. These look great in packaging.
Considering I just saw some detailed the cloth goods on NECA, I'm damn impressed.
So
These are
you're
gonna be
talking
great.
about stuff shipping this week.
Yeah.
Following that, I can't tell if it's this week or next week, but we are getting our Terminator Dark Fate figures. I got a hold of them. They told me that they officially ship out December 10th. So if you're looking for Sarah Connor and all of them, you can go and order them on Amazon right now, but I'm not paying $10 shipping each for both of them.
Right.
It's not happening. But I'm going to get. I'm excited for those to show up because we've been talking about those. We all saw the movie. We all love the movie.
Yep.
Anyone, if you were like me and Jason, who have been dying to get these figures, December 10th, that's when they're supposed to hit.
Yeah, they had them knocked off a little bit, but
Well, you notice that what that was is those were that's a third-party carrier that probably had the figures already, and in order to get them early, they wanted to double charge you plus $10.
no, thank you.
So for a $23 figure, they wanted to charge you basically $65. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Not to cut you off, you gave me a perfect segue.
Oh, okay. All right. So NECA also shipping this week has a foam replica that stands, I'm seeing here, almost 13 inches tall of something that will eat all your Reese's Pieces.
Screw you, Xfinity.
And this is something. This is something that I know is probably going to please a lot of people, but this is something I don't think I need in my home. But E.T. is coming to toy shelves this week, shipping this week.
Does it come with a copy of the E.T. video game?
No.
The rare one that nobody wanted to play?
It's a rare one.
A terrible game.
Oh, it wasn't rare?
No.
It was just rarely played.
Yeah.
I guess. So this foam replica puppet of E.T., I guess, you know, maybe it'll look good in somebody's
E.T.
Halloween
used to
display.
Scare me as a kid.
Me too.
So it wasn't even the movie. Like, the only part that would freak me out is when E.T. first arrives and, you know, Elliot goes and finds him and they do that whole screaming match.
He was always hidden.
That part scared the crap out of me every time. And then when I'm watching that Xfinity commercial, they did it again, and I am 25, and it's still doing it to me. I was like, God, no. I am an adult man, but still.
No word if his finger glows. I don't know that yet.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to paint it yourself. Put some glitter on it. I don't know.
Notice in the product shots, too, his fingers are covered.
Yeah, and I don't even know what that puppet costs. So, yeah, I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but the only other thing, as far as NECA goes, they showed the Predator, the Alpha Predator blister.
Good God,
packaging,
terrifying.
And this looks radical. I mean, he looks really good.
I need to see this in paint.
Me too.
Whoa! Look at that detail.
Coming spring 2020. So we'll see what happens.
Predator more.
That's a good looking Predator, man.
No. Don't get me wrong. I own some Predators, like, you know, my Yellow Lantern Predator.
Well, they make quite a few,
awesome.
but
They're everywhere. It's just, I can't go out and buy every single Predator.
No.
Yeah, you can.
No.
You just have to get a bigger house.
I don't even
own
a house.
It's a good figure. That's a lot of accessories.
I live in this cardboard box right here.
All right. Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
All right, let me go on and run through mine because we got a lot of stuff to get through. First of all, the first figures I want to talk about, the New Japan Pro Wrestling figures. We got some more images of them with their soft goods. I love the one bald-headed individual is Tomohiro Ishii, which he has two heads. One is squinting angrily. The other is squinting even more angrily, which I love that. But he's got his T-shirt on. We've got Kazuchika Okada, who's got his lovely coat on, which Hannah is going to be all about that figure. That is her favorite New Japan wrestler. One of Will Ospreay wearing kind of his ring attire. Very shiny. I love all the stuff they come up with. The title belts, the trophies, the interchangeable heads, and I can't think of the other guy. I can't think of the High Five Flow. But he's got his guitar, and these figures look really good. Love the paints on them. Love soft goods. Can't wait to get more of these.
It's all molded hair, right?
It's all molded hair.
They honestly look surprisingly better than I thought they were going to. The first initial shots looked great, but then you added on top of these like additional cloth goods and stuff like that, and it's phenomenal. I probably won't get them because I don't watch that stuff. But still.
I know that our own Cora was kind of crazy when she saw that they were up for sale. Or well, she finally saw the coat because Okada is her favorite wrestler.
Are they up for sale yet?
No, they're not up for sale. They're up for pre-order right now.
Did she pre-order them?
They better. They are actually, and they're going to be super expensive too. They are $45 a piece.
Yeah, they are.
That's Hiroshi Tanahashi is the guy with the long hair and the guitar. Sorry, couldn't think of his name. But yeah, $45 a piece. This is going to be an expensive buy. So I'm going to buy them. Sorry, I'm going to buy them.
I won't.
You may admire mine from afar.
You bet I will.
From afar. NECA Turtle news. We did get to see a metalhead. They had an unpainted prototype. I actually think there is a painted one out there that we I saw on the website. I'll see if I can share it. But Metalhead was one of my favorite Ninja Turtle toys. Like from when I was a kid. I want Metalhead.
They also said that articulation is almost complete, which means that once it gets past the final process, the final steps of being built, that means it's coming out 2020.
Yeah, so I kind of want that, and it might make me get some more NECA Turtles as well. The let's
we
see.
saw NECA Turtles while we were out and about.
I know I should have gotten them. The Golden Axe, I covered one of those figures that were going to have their mounts and everything, but now we get an articulated skeleton, which I want this articulated skeleton. I want a stand-up skeleton.
How tall?
These are Storm Collectibles.
Storm Collectibles about
they're like 7-inch.
They're about 7-inch.
I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm. But this looks good. It's a posable skeleton, man. I need this. I think I need this.
So do I.
So yeah, another figure. I don't collect Figma Persona figures. I've admired them from afar. They look really good though. This is I can't think of her name. Her name in the game is Oracle.
You don't know.
Her code name is Oracle. I can't think of her real name. Futaba. That's what I'm trying to think of. But these figures look good. I love the accessories that come with it. I skirt along the edge with Figmas. I'll get one here and there. I like the Persona figures. I just don't want to get into it. But still, good looking figure. Last but not least, because I don't have a lot this week, looks like. Well, I do got one more. MP44, my most expensive Transformer buy of the year, is getting the inevitable black recolor of the black convoy with the Decepticon emblem. I don't need this, and I won't buy this. Because I'm pretty sure it'll be the same price as the other one I bought. And you know what? I'm good. I'll admire this. Good paint job. Good paint job from here.
You need a complete set.
No, I don't ever get black con. Oh, wait, I do. Ooh.
You need a complete set.
No, but I'm not getting this one. That's too expensive. Third party, Toy World, they're getting a Masterpiece Mirage, which I have one up there from a third party. It's time Hasbro actually made a Mirage. I don't know if I'll get this, but ooh, this looks good. I like Race Car Mirage, and this looks like he would fit real well in your Masterpiece shelf. They even got him next to a couple of Masterpiece figures, but yeah, third party Mirage coming. Lastly, Toy World is making an Optimus Prime from the movie Bumblebee, and it is a Masterpiece figure, and holy crap, when I looked at this thing, I was like, that looks good. I don't want it because it doesn't transform. I was wrong. This transforms. I don't even want to know what this transformation is like, but if you look at just the figure itself, you think that's a statue. Or the way they actually released the images at first, they put them in poses from the movie, and people were like, that's a scene from the movie. Whoa!
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. This one drew my attention when you showed it to me. And when you were like, man, I don't think it transforms initially, I was like, man, that's fine. I hate transforming my Transformers. Like, I don't own a lot of Transformers because I get so angry that I want to break them. But when a figure, like if a Transformer has the ability to not transform and it has sturdier joints, then I'm all for it. And then, here we are.
And there will be a deluxe edition that comes with like some barricades, extra weapons, different tires, and some extra pieces to make him look more Cybertronian or more of his Earth mode. This is a pricey one.
How much?
This one's going to run about for the deluxe version about $279.
Well, the good news is
in the bag.
I've clearly paid this before.
It's in the bag.
Man, how much was that?
Tie it up. Take it home.
How much was that Unicron that you were almost going to buy?
Don't worry about that. I mean, like Megatron up here was more than that, and so was MP44 Optimus. Hell, the Megatron was about that price. So yes, I'm clearly willing to pay this. Clearly, companies like Toy World found out that Transformer fans had a lot of discretionary funds available. So, this is a good looking fig though, and it transforms. I'm in. I can't wait to get this. I think that is it. But we had one more thing that you forgot to cover.
Yep.
The merch. This is going to be the Christmas merchandise to get.
No,
this is the one that people will be killing each other.
Stop it. It will not be out by Christmas. So the biggest things that there's two things that I'm looping back around to. Biggest thing, obviously, with The Mandalorian is everyone's freak out of Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is adorable. Everything about him makes us all want to protect him because he's so adorable, and I love his little sassy antics. But the problem is we didn't get any merchandise for him. There was no any kind of release. There were no T-shirts. There were no bags. There was nothing like that. People are starting to pump that stuff out now, last minute. But the reason why they did that initially was because they wanted to keep him a secret. They did not want anything to leak, because on bad side about toys is that we get those toys early. So if we get them early, then we know a little bit more about the show than we should.
Right.
So no one would have been surprised when he showed up at the end of episode 1. So they are officially going to be releasing. Funko has decided to make a standard pop of Baby Yoda, as well as a 10-inch version of that same exact pop for $34.99 instead of $10. They won't be available until February.
Wow.
Following that, an 11-inch vinyl head plushie is being made by Mattel that will be available for purchase as well. I want to say he's also about $30, but he won't be available until May of 2020. It is a missed opportunity. A lot of people have complained about this. This would have been the go-to Christmas item. You were exactly right when you said that. Everyone would have gone for it. It would have been the hot toy to buy off the shelves for any family,
People
any age.
murdering each other in the aisles.
I would have gotten it. I would have gone out and bought that pop.
I would have Power Rangers all over again.
I would have bought that plushie. I would have gotten it. But the fact is because of the fact of how long they're waiting, all we have are just the little mock-up shots that we're supposed to be getting. You will not be getting your Baby Yoda for Christmas unless you want to go buy it from like an Etsy person. That's it for Yoda. Granted, I have one more thing that happened to get announced as we're talking.
This is breaking news.
So I'm a huge fan of the Dragon Ball franchise. There's no surprise there. We had gotten a tease a while back with a picture of a microphone on Tamashii Nation's photos on Instagram, as well as a 3-star Dragon Ball, but I didn't know who it was. It's Jackie Chun. So we just found out we're getting Jackie Chun from the original Dragon Ball in SH Figure Arts form, and I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I don't, but it looks amazing, and I loved it because it's just Master Roshi being a dick. And you know what? I'm okay with it. So Jackie Chun eventually come out. SH Figure Arts has all my money for Dragon Ball, and unfortunately, Broly got me back into it. That's it for news.
All right, so we got all the news covered. Now, since this is the last show, we are going to go into some of the best of the year. I have my top 10. We're going to do a shared kind of ranking the Build-A-Figures for this year. Bryce, you've got a top 10 list.
Yes.
So
we're going to take a break for us, but for you guys, it'll be like a second.
Yeah, so y'all are good. Go, actually, we're going to do it
Don't
right
go
now.
anywhere.
Ha! All right, guys, and yeah, y'all saw nothing. That was like instantaneous. That everything on the table changed, which is, you know, the magic of cameras and editing. Moving on to the figures. Anyway,
I think we should
top 10. Okay, we do have a shared list that we're going to do.
Yeah, I think
let's go ahead and knock that one out of the way.
So Jason and I collect a lot of Marvel Legends, as clearly shown. I like collecting the Build-A-Figures. This every so often I'll pass one up, but I didn't pass up a single Build-A-Figure this time around. So Jason and I have ranked our Build-A-Figures of what we liked from least to greatest, obviously. Build-A-Figures this year were, and this is not the order, but the ones that came out were Bro Thor from the Avengers Endgame wave, Molten Man from Spider-Man Far From Home wave, Kree Sentry that came from the Captain Marvel wave, Wendigo from the X-Men wave, same thing with Caliban, different X-Men wave, Thanos from Avengers Endgame from the first Avengers Endgame wave, M'Baku from the second all-movie Black Panther wave. Then we have Smart Hulk from the second Avengers Endgame wave. And then, of course, we have Kingpin from our very first Spider-Man wave this year.
All right, so who's your... Go ahead, give me your list.
My bottom, obviously, is Kree Sentry. He is at the bottom. I didn't want a Kree Sentry. I mean, it's a cool figure, but this was not one that I was looking forward to. Didn't really care about it. The only reason I completed Kree Sentry is because there was so much in that MCU Captain Marvel wave that I wanted that it just seemed pointless to not get the last two figures and just go ahead and complete it. So I have him at the bottom. Following that, I have in 8th place Caliban. The reason he is so far to the bottom is while he is a nice looking figure, he uses an older mold. Because of that, he is very hollow feeling. He feels very cheap, especially around the torso. So it hurt it a little bit. Plus, I didn't like how glossy that white is in comparison to the matte of the maroon on the figure. So because of that, he's in almost bottom place. I put M'Baku on 7th because as much as I love MCU figures, he is a small figure in comparison to everything else. I don't like when they give us the smaller figures to begin with. And because of all of the different types of stuff that they did, and while that is how he looks in the movie, it made it very hard for him to be posable, playable, so on and so forth. Love the figure, but it had to go lower on the list. Following that is Wendigo. Wendigo is a very cool figure. I love this Wendigo figure. I like the way it looks. I like the tail. I like all the things about it. But when it just came to playability with all of the rest of the figures, Wendigo had to go lower because right above him is Armored Thanos. Armored Thanos went lower on the list because of the fact that I don't like the fact that he has the Infinity Gauntlet on because he never wore that in the movie. The sword that he came with was garbage, so I basically have a custom one coming in. And I had to take off the original head sculpt that they gave with him because it looked like he was constipated. So I put on the 10-year anniversary head sculpt of the angry version since he fights without his helmet in the movie anyway. Plus, it didn't have the ankle articulation, which made it really hard to pose him. So that's why he's lower on the list. I then put Professor Hulk in 4th place because as cool as Professor Hulk is, I did have to order those sets of clothes in order to make it look more movie accurate. And if I had to add anything to the figure to make it more, I guess, playable or, accurate, then it had to go lower.
Yay, cloth goods.
Yes, I think the cloth good looks really good on Hulk. I then put Molten Man in 3rd place, which surprised me a lot because Molten Man does not look that great. But after playing with it, it was a really fun figure.
I love it.
We discussed this the first time me and you actually met. Was the Molten Man was phenomenal, and it's disproportionate and has a lot of problems to it as well. But I had way more fun with the Molten Man figure than I was anticipating I was going to, so he does get 3rd place.
He looks great.
Yeah, it's a good, solid figure in my opinion. I know that our opinions don't match everybody else's. This is just my opinion. I put Thor in 2nd place because while he is a smaller figure and loses points for that, I had a lot of fun playing with this Thor. I still want a battle-ready Thor, but I'm glad we got this one. It's just a lot of fun to pose around with. Plus, it's nice to have a more plus-size character in figure form. And then, of course, so no one's surprised, in my opinion, Kingpin, number 1. I have been wanting Kingpin since the 90s. It's one of those figures that I always thought was big and bulky. I associated it very well with all older Spider-Man comics and Spider-Man TV series like the 90s. I knew about Kingpin. I love Kingpin. I have been craving a Kingpin figure forever, and they finally gave it to me, and it held up. It's phenomenal.
I love the wrinkles in the pants just above, laying above the shoes, and I love the shoes as well. It's great.
It had a lot of cool features to it too. Not only did it come with a cane that's somewhere in my house, but it came with an alternate head, and you had the ability to take off that head when you got the Professor X, so you could turn him into Shadow King. And that's cool. I would have that as well if it wasn't for the fact that I didn't want to have to go back out and rebuy that entire.
You could also take the hands off Monster Venom.
And you could put it on there and get it even more close to Shadow King, which is really cool. But that Kingpin is phenomenal. I love it.
My list, I'm going to go quicker. Kree Sentry, garbage figure. I hated it. I know Bryce liked it when I got it. He's like, this is a cool looking figure. I was like, I don't care.
I liked it.
It looks like it's got a bowl cut.
I like robots. It doesn't matter.
My second list is Molten Man. I don't really like that figure that much. I remember Molten Man from the comics, and I just didn't dig it.
It is not the same Molten Man.
It's not the same.
This is MCU Clayface, okay?
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Next up is Wendigo. I thought it was a really good figure. Next up is Caliban, because I actually like the redo of Caliban, but still not high on my list. Thanos, same reasons you hated Thanos. I did too. I'm not going to go. It wasn't accurate.
The Infinity War Thanos, not the Build-A-Figure, but the redo that they did for 10 years, solid.
Yeah, that's
Love
solid. Next up is Hulk. Actually, this is where I start liking it. I like the Hulk, but yeah, he could have used some regular clothes or his suit that he wore at the end of the movie.
Yep.
Bro Thor is actually my number 3 figure. I mean, I like it. It was needed. I like it, though. I'm going to leave it at that. My second, actually, was M'Baku, just because Bill Duke. No. I forget his name. It's something.
It's something Duke.
He was great
in
Black Panther.
Phenomenal.
And I really wish we had some of him in Endgame. Maybe just a one-liner so we know he's back. I don't think he got dusted anyway. So
he didn't get dusted. It would be really cool to see what happened to M'Baku during that time, because I guarantee you he probably was ruling really well.
But it's a good head sculpt. It really resembles the actor.
He was in Endgame.
He was in the background.
He just didn't say anything.
And of course, my number 1 figure is Kingpin. That Kingpin is great articulation. I love the way the joints lay with the jacket and everything on top of him. It's just a good figure. There's no, hands down, the faces, the one accessory, the cane. I mean,
Solid figure.
you couldn't do any better.
This was one of the most sought after Build-A-Figures as well. Like, I remember whenever this was, God, the amount of people stealing from Kingpin parts was ridiculous. But Kingpin was tough. Everyone was on the hunt for it. Kingpin, it held up.
Uh-huh. All right. Okay, Bryce, we talked enough about that. What are your top 10 figures for the year?
All right. I have,
Bryce
this was not easy to do. A lot of figures I thought were done really well in 2019. I'm going to start off with the extremely limited Scream Factory retro cloth 8-inch Detective Ray Cameron from Night of the Creeps. And this figure thrills me.
Yeah, that was impressive.
I can't say enough nice things about the likeness on this figure, and it looks just like he did in the movie. It's fantastic. I love it. It's even got a beer, a little accessory which he drank in the movie. So if you have this figure, kudos to you for picking it up because I know they're limited. Number 9 on my list, Mego made a bunch of Star Trek figures in the 70s. And they were big sellers and they were fantastic. And Mego has given us more Star Trek figures, and they gave us the Kirk in the green shirt, the belly wrap, where it looks like they're probably trying to hide Shatner's trip to the buffet where he ate too many pancakes.
I was there.
And this figure is fantastic. I love the fact that they finally brought out the green wrap command shirt. It's phenomenal. Number 8 on my list, and I will just say this: numbers 1 through 8 are almost interchangeable for me. This is how much I like all these figures that I'm talking about, but I'm giving it number 8. Number 8 is this 14-inch Batman figure made by Mego. I love the cloth. I love the utility belt. I love the head sculpt. I think it's a phenomenal Batman figure.
Good head sculpt on that one.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I love the blue and the gray. Number 7 is this Joker with this vest and this printed shirt underneath. I can't say enough nice things about this packaging, these logos, that head sculpt. This Joker for me is ideal. It really is in this 14-inch format. And Mego got the packaging right. You can see the face. You can see everything. It's a fantastic figure. Bravo. Bravo. Number 6 on my list. One of the better looking Flash figures I've seen in this format of retro cloth. I think they nailed it.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I love the Flash and everything that has to do with the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one a lot too.
Yeah, I can't.
I probably would have picked this one up if I had seen it.
It's probably still available. I'll look for one for you. I think it's great. I love it. This Flash is top rate. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I'm going to hold it up. This is a limited edition.
Oh.
GameStop.
I remember we talked about this one.
Mm-hmm.
This was not easy to come by, but this is a Star Trek Spock original series gift set with not only the torso, or excuse me, the head and the torso of the Mirror Universe Spock, but it's also got the command yellow that he wore in the pilot, which you can't get anywhere else. So this is fantastic. This gift set, can't say enough nice things about. It's a great packaging, and I hope that they do another one of these at some point. Love that gift set. And it's also got the Live Long and Prosper sign.
Good presentation on that.
Yeah, it was a solid figure. Even I considered getting that one.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I haven't. I still don't own it.
The packaging made it very, very well sought after, I think.
Okay, number 4 on my list is actually a redo from a 2018 figure that Mego released. It's the face of the Screaming Werewolf is actually laying down at the very in the very front of the display here. Mego in 2019 did the flocked version, and you see the Screaming Werewolf flocked, and I'm all for this gimmick. I love this gimmick. So, you know, if it's glow in the dark or flocked, I'm in. I think it's great. And the carded figure, which I did not bring, is on a purple card. It's got really good artwork as well. It's a really nice looking carded figure as well. Number 3 is something that wowed Mego fans because Hikaru Sulu got a new head sculpt, different from his normal Mego figure. Hikaru Sulu and Lieutenant Uhura from the ISS Enterprise in the Mirror Universe. This gift set, the two of them together, I packaged as number 3 pick on my top 10. These guys, the costumes, the accessories, it's fantastic. And I love this head sculpt on George Takei. It's just amazing. Number 2 on my list. I would be blue without you. Nosferatu. Did that even rhyme?
It was a stretch, but
it was a stretch, right?
I'll let you have it.
Thank you. This Nosferatu comes in a glow-in-the-dark version as well as a non-glow-in-the-dark version. And the costuming on this by Rachel Baker. Thank you, Rachel. There's been so many phenomenal figures released by Mego this year, and Rachel is responsible for, I think, about almost 90% of the costuming. So way to go, Rachel. These are phenomenal releases. A lot of the monster releases are great for Mego this year. It's only a top 10 list. I would throw more monsters in there, but it's a top 10, not a top 20. So rounding out the top of my list, how can you go wrong with Twok Spock? Rathacon Spock. I love it. Love it. Love it. I can't say enough of it. It's just I love it. This is a signed Rathacon Spock by Marty Abrams. I've also I had to put them all 3 in the top. It's a tie for the first spot for me. You got Khan, you've got Kirk from Rathacon. It's basically for me a tie at the number 1 spot. All 3 figures, I love them all. These are figures that Mego collectors have been wanting for about 37 years since the movie came out in '82. So, bravo! Thank you, Mego.
I just see you as wishy-washy. Pick one.
I can't pick one. I can't.
I can pick a solid one. He's been a favorite on this channel, and he's Jason's favorite figure for all time, and it's clearly the best figure out of every one of them. Right?
You're right. But
I should put this on dual cam just to express my displeasure for what I think I'm about to say.
But here's the thing: Man Bat approves of my choice for number 1, Twok, Spock, Kirk, and Khan. But if there were a top 11, surely Man Bat would fall somewhere in the rankings for the top figure of the year.
I think we should just scrap all of Jason's list and just put Man Bat.
Go to hell.
Well, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Okay,
you're right. You do need some form of Chucky on there.
Okay, honorable mention. I just have to say, Mego Glow in the Dark Frankenstein, love it.
You've expressed your love of glow in the dark.
Yeah, I have, and also
I love that we know each other's tastes more.
Right.
Being on this show.
This show has brought us truly together.
It has, and I realized as I was putting all my figures on the table here, I thought I had Green Lantern written down here in my top 10, but I didn't. So he's also.
What number was he? What number did we miss?
I'm sorry.
What number did we miss?
I don't think I missed a number. I know it. No, I didn't miss a number.
Oh, Oh,
but
okay.
Green Lantern is an honorable mention, and my other honorable mention is Mike, who is of course modeled after Shatner.
Yes, that
Mike Myers by NECA. So
I want to take a look at that after we're done here.
Yeah, so I know I mentioned at least 13 figures here, but it's hard for me to do a top 10 without some honorable mentions. These are great figures.
Cheating.
To think we almost went top 5 instead of 10.
No kidding.
I cheated.
He wouldn't have been able to. If Bryce would have been able to get through this, okay.
I would.
We're gonna let Bryce be Bryce, then.
I would have said, you guys go ahead and leave the room and let me go ahead and continue streaming.
Oh, look at that! It's almost 10 p.m. It's time to switch to whiskey. Anyway,
can we also get him a shirt that says
I want you to go.
Be
I
Bryce?
want you to go first because I think we share a lot of figures on this list.
We do.
So you have the physical representations of them, so
yeah. So
we'll go ahead and give you the camera there.
My top 10 was a little difficult because there's a lot of figures that I wouldn't necessarily have ranked. I'm more happy with brands overall and just getting figures.
I'm cutting off the banana and the green guy at the end, just to let you know.
So I'll move them over.
Yeah.
So I have at my set number 10 is Cara Dune from The Mandalorian.
Good choice.
This figure is. We've gotten a lot of female figures before. We've gotten a lot of good ones in both Mattel and Hasbro. But Cara Dune was one of those figures that I felt was super accurate of Gina. Just being able to hold it, you could feel that like it's got the thickness to it, and I don't mean that in any kind of like weird way. And yes, but it was one of those figures that when you actually held, you felt all the proportions were right. It had decent articulation to it. I think this was a phenomenal figure. I mentioned when we got this figure originally that it was my favorite in the wave, and it continues to hold up just as such. Number 9 is kind of a cop-out as well, a little bit. I have the Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the table. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is meant to hold all of the Lightning collection that's really come out. I had to do it this way because we mentioned it on Super Cool Nerd Show before we went on break, that if this line had me going from the first time I was on this show saying I had no interest in collecting any of these figures other than the original team to I now own all of these figures and paid extra to get Wave 3 early. Any figures line that can flip me 180 like this deserves to have a complete mention. So I put Red Ranger here because he was the one that I was originally looking forward to other than Tommy. But number 9, I honestly think goes to just the Power Rangers collection as a whole.
It's been a good solid hitter for all of its releases.
A lot. Like it's one of those figures that everybody likes to talk about and everybody's looking for. Number 8, I had to give to Peely. Peely is, you would think he'd be higher on the list because of how much we've been gloating about Peely and our love for him. But look, I know nothing about Fortnite. I know nothing about the character in general. But Peely is a good, solid figure that made me go back to Fortnite's McFarlane line. And I haven't collected any of the other ones since then. But Peely's great. Deserves to be on top 10. We love Peely.
Peely would have been on my list had we done a top 20.
For a figure I did a complete 180 on, yeah.
Yeah, there's another reason why. Number 7, I have to give it to The Mandalorian. I love the show. The show has definitely influenced my list because of this character, but I love this Star Wars character in general. I own too many of the Mandalorian. I own the carbonized Mandalorian. I will own every Mandalorian figure that they gave me. It would be higher on the list if it wasn't for the fact that Star Wars Black Series figures have such a limited range in some of their articulation schemes and how tiny they are in cases. It's just, I love this figure, so it had to go on the list. So it's number 7. Number 6 with the upset, it goes to the Mattel Jurassic Park Velociraptor figure. I never thought Mattel would ever make it on a top 10 list that I have ever done in my life.
And then
here we go. It was, I was excited because I love Jurassic Park. It's a great franchise. It honestly is a phenomenal figure. And then they gave us this, I liked the Ian Malcolm they gave us. Then we opened this Velociraptor, and it had more posability than some of the $100 figures we've played with.
And can nail those poses in stiff joints. This is a bendable wire tail. This is a solid construction figure.
It was a good way to handle the bendy tail as well. Like I don't like bendy wire. I've mentioned it before. Everyone freaks out about bendy wire, but they did this bendy wire so well that even if it were to break, which is my biggest concern about bendy wire, the figure would still hold up because it's just a Velociraptor and it's phenomenal.
You had to talk me out of going and buying like 3 more of these.
Yeah, you wanted to go and buy 3 more, but my biggest thing is we know that Owen Grady is on the way. We know that Blue is on the way from Jurassic World. Instead of getting more Velociraptors, just give me more dinosaurs from this. Like, I don't go out and buy the other dinosaurs that are out and about because of Jurassic Park because there's way too many, and I don't collect those since I was like 5. But the Velociraptor and its posability brought me back to buying something I haven't bought since I was a child. Good job, Mattel. Where was this when before you lost DC? I don't know. Number 5, I'm going to have to give it to Hasbro's Iron Man. The reason I picked Iron Man is just more of a sentimental reason. I love the character. This is my favorite iteration of the MCU armor. It has great posability. All of our other Iron Mans either made me have it in a fist or had to have it in a permanent repulsor blaster. Sorry, Jason. But having this particular figure...
Yeah, mine's got some QC issues anyway.
This particular figure I love. I bought an extra one. I was intentionally looking for an extra one. I couldn't put it any higher on the list, even if I wanted to, but I did like this figure. I did consider putting it lower, especially considering like the Mandalorian. I almost swapped the 2 of them, but I just went ahead and placed them at number 5. This Iron Man figure is great. I honestly really did love this Avengers Endgame wave. I do recommend it to most people. Number 4, the new guy, Broly. SH Figure Arts. SH Figure Arts always does an amazing job. Their older figures are kind of iffy. I remember used to wanting to collect Figma more than SH Figure Arts. And then Dragon Ball just got me all in there. And it's time for... He's a big, bulky figure. Worth the price. Tons of accessories, in my opinion. He could have come with more. But this Broly figure looks great. They handled the whole skirt piece around his waist very well because that could have gotten in the way of a lot of things, but they cut it up and layered it. It looks great. I honestly think this Broly figure is definitely one for the books. Number 3, I have to give it to the NECA Green Lantern figure.
Yeah.
Green Lantern is one of those toys and one of those characters that's one of my secret loves that I never actually talk about for some reason. I love the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan is one of my favorites. I secretly love the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. It's a hot piece of garbage, but I love it. It's one of those movies. It's one of those characters that Green Lantern is really close to my heart. I know a lot of people know that some of my favorite characters are clearly Spider-Man and the Flash and so on and so forth. But Green Lantern has always been one of those characters that I discovered really early on. So the moment they announced this NECA Green Lantern figure, I was all for it. I was willing to buy a 2-pack and a double 2-pack that came with a Predator and then a Batman and stuff that I sold, and Ricardo's still mad at me about. But this Green Lantern figure, I was so crushed when mine was broken, but NECA went above and beyond and gave me those extra pieces, so I have my Green Lantern. I love this figure. It's detailed well. It poses well. It gave me great accessories. You could make him Jon Stewart, which I would have bought a second one if it wasn't for the fact that they would have made me pay another $120 for something like this. It's phenomenal. I love this figure. I was never expecting to get a whole lot of Green Lantern stuff because, he just doesn't seem to find that kind of love. NECA found the love. I'm all for it. I love this figure. Number 3.
It's deserving of your praise.
It is. Number 2, which was weird because I never knew anything about Hellboy before now, but I bought that 1,000 Toys Hellboy, and it was everything I could have wanted in a figure and then more. I didn't pick up this figure because I knew nothing about Hellboy going into this. I knew about the character, but I didn't know anything about it. Really didn't have any interest. Then you got it, and then I messed with yours when I came inside of the set, and I fell in love to the point where I went out, found a GameStop, and bought it. And I messed with it the entire day. This figure is great. I'm all for 1,000 Toys now because of this. One of the big things that drew me in is the fact that they fixed the knees. When they first were releasing prototypes, the knees were big, they're clunky, it broke up the set. It looked awful. It looked like Mattel level kind of awful. And then they went back and re-sculpted and just like ultimately fixed it. And now this Hellboy looks great. The only thing I wish I could have fixed is, of course, the big, giant screw you hand. It looks a little Lego-y. in that portion, but overall, I love this figure. It definitely became one of my favorites to the point where I'm going to have to get Abe. I'm going to have to get Rasputin. I'm going to have to get the entire line.
Yeah, for their first outing, this was damn good.
Yeah,
Oh, it looks great.
I can't wait for Master Chief. I can't wait for Castlevania.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about Master Chief.
Yeah, I keep wanting to order it, but then he's like 120 in comparison to what 80?
Done.
I'm still going to get it. 100% still going to get it. But 1,000 Toys really drew me in thanks to this Hellboy figure. And then number 1, I have to give it to Kingpin. It's Kingpin. He's number 1 on our Build-A-Figure list. He was one of those figures I've been wanting for a while. I had to have Kingpin. It's phenomenal. I love him. He's big. He's bulky. He's in my display. This Kingpin rocks. I love it. And then, of course, you had an honorable mention, so I'm going to have an honorable mention because I miscounted, I guess. I have to give it to the Mezco Spider-Man Homecoming. This thing went up for pre-order back in 2017 and didn't come out till earlier this year.
Dang. I forgot when Homecoming came out. Yeah.
Wow.
2017. Apparently, he went up for pre-order then. I got mine used, but mine looks basically brand new, and I love it. This figure has great posability. I love the stand. I love having it in my display. I love everything about this figure. It has some QC problems. I've talked about it. I've showed it to you. My biggest problem, of course, is the spider logo is way too high up on the chest, not where it's supposed to be, but I don't even notice it when it's on display when I have him pose shooting webs. So, but he's an honorable mention. I love this Mezco figure. I don't own a lot of Mezcos, but this one was definitely the point where once I got this one, I had to go and order the Spider-Man Far From Home Mezco, and hopefully I'll get that one in too.
Cool.
That's my
Nice list.
Ah, it's a good list. And we're going to share a couple of the same figures. So, in no particular order, I do want to start off with the Transformers Siege line. I thought was really good. A lot of good G1-esque, but giving a new life into the series. We got larger figures. We got City Bots. We got Micro Masters. We got Target Masters. We got our core bad guys and good guys. It's a good line, and I like that they're doing that trilogy. We're getting Earthrise next. But as we move out of Transformers Siege, Cybertron, these were good figures. Really like them.
Man,
one of my favorite picks for the year.
I don't know anything about Transformers like as much as I think I would do, but Siege was honestly a good line. You're right.
Absolutely.
I ended up buying a lot of Transformers because of Siege. I did stop because I cannot keep going up with Transformers. I cannot have it be like Jason's Room. But they made me buy 2 Transformer Optimus Primes. Like it had me. I was all about G1 for me. They gave me G1 and Siege. Good pick.
All right. So back to let's see. I want to go ahead and I had it. Okay. Next up, I did want to go ahead. Peely's number 9 on my list. I didn't like the figure at first, but you got me. And I bought one after seeing I had to get it. After handling yours, I had to get it. So next at number 8, there was the SH Figure Arts Cowboy Bebop line. We're getting more of these. I'm very happy about that. Faye has been announced. Vicious is coming up next. But yeah, I'm getting the whole crew. This is my all-time favorite anime. I'm so glad to get a Spike Spiegel that looks like he stepped off the screen. This is a really good figure. Happy that those came out this year. Next up, I'm going to have to give it to the NECA 3-pack with the 3 foot soldiers. I'm sorry, 4-pack with 3 foot soldiers and Splinter and Shredder. These are good figures. Yes, the foot soldiers are pretty much palette swaps of Shredder. I don't care. This was really good. I love my NECA Turtles. Now, give me Casey Jones. Give me April. I need some more of these. So, yeah, all about this line, and that is my next pick. Of course, I got to put this figure on the list just because he looks that cool. The Mandalorian. This is a good figure. I own 2 versions of this. That's a lot for me. I don't normally do 2 versions of stuff, but this is just a good figure. Very accurate, and we need some more from that series, and I'll leave it at that.
I have spoken.
Next up, I did want the Lightning Collection. Just a line that has been consistently good with all of its releases. Yes, they only do 4 figures a line. Ooh, they're really spacing it out, and I really want to complete some teams. But the Lightning Collection is a solid line. Give me more releases. I'm good.
I'm telling you, this Lightning Collection is the point where the next series won't come out until March. and that's just too far away. I need more Rangers.
Uh-huh. All right, next up, that Velociraptor from Mattel. It's a great figure. We've already said it. Everything posable, paint, everything about this figure is good. The only thing that's wrong is I need more of them. So there. Next up, of course, is going to be the 1,000 Toys Hellboy. Like we talked about that mixture from cloth goods to solid stuff. This is that mixture right here.
It found
This
all
figure
the right
is
ones.
just good all around. Posable, paint. This jacket is phenomenal with the wire going through it. Interchangeable hands. Just a fantastic job. 1,000 Toys. You got me, baby. You got me. I'll give you money. Anyway. I did want to do one more honorable mention because I actually had a version of this figure, but they made a better one. The Bring Arts 2B, which I did pick up on Black Friday. This is a better figure. It's one of those cases where I wish they had released this at first, but with all the accessories, the interchangeable goods on it, better head sculpt, it's a damn good figure. And I'm ending it off. Number one for this year. My top figure is the MP44 Optimus Prime. This is the definitive. I should murder you right now. How dare you interrupt my praise of a Transformer with that disgusting foul word? How dare you use such language on this show? Shut your mouth. Anyway.
Here will not be returning for season 2.
But the MP44, yes, this thing has a transformation that is kind of a nightmare to do, but once you get it down, it actually gets a little bit easier. But as far as looking like the Optimus Prime that I grew up with, watching him, G1 version, and somehow able to pull it off with very little kibble, and above all, son of a... Okay, there's the voice of Peter Cullen in here. I just got to get through a whole bunch of crap to get to it. But anyway, this is my number one figure, probably the one that I was most on the fence about. Thank you, new job. Because I was like, I ain't paying for that. Oh, wait, I can pay for that. So, yeah, just a phenomenal figure. Very near and dear to my heart. This thing is awesome and my number one pick for the year. So there you go.
I didn't hear any Xenomorphs in your top 10.
Because they will never make it in my top 10. Anyway, let me go back to the dual cam here. So that is it. That's our top 10, top Build-A-Figures, top figures of the year. It was very wide. Some of ours were the same, but I think we were all over the place. So I think that's good. I'm glad we all collect different lines here.
Yeah, variety is a spice of life.
No shit.
We may give each other a lot of crap for some of the certain things that we collect, like even stuff we don't talk about. Like I collect the Ben 10 Playmates toys.
You loser.
Like it. Exactly.
Well, nobody
like that.
does that.
We may give each other crap, but the toy community has brought us all closer together.
See, it's good because these things that we would consider, we can look at it. You know, it's pretty good.
Like you and I met because of the toy community.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because of this, you and I met. Now I would consider you guys some of my closest friends, just hands down, because of toys and the show. And it's been a good season.
Yeah, it has. And it's going to be even better one next year because we are taking our break after this. We'll be back after January 1st. Not exactly sure what day. You want to make sure you tune in. We'll probably post some little toy reviews. I'm getting back into some toy reviews. We'll post some little toy videos. We are planning to do a video where we go out and look for some bootlegs, which I think would be pretty funny.
Well,
we'll get to that.
Well, alternate heads may be on a break. Basically, what you're saying is just our content's not stopping.
I need to get things done around here. I don't even know what I did with that Bumblebee earlier.
To ease some minds as well, Super Cool Nerd Show may be on break as well. Alternate Heads is going on break before we get back into season 2 and toys can start coming up again. Anime TV is still not on break. It is. I don't think Anime TV really goes on the break until summer. We'll see. That wasn't Bumblebee, was it?
That was Bumblebee.
If something bad happened to him, we have to run. He'll kill us all.
He's okay.
Why?
Which means y'all are okay.
Why are you not being more careful with these collectibles? I
don't know. And this guy I just got in from Amazon Japan. Yes, he didn't make the list because
he's tiny. But
other reasons. Anyway,
Anime TV still going strong. Probably won't take a break until summer. We will be reviewing Dr. Stone on our next episode, so make sure you stay tuned to watch that.
No.
We have a brand new show, February, Nerds with Coffee. It's going to be a little talk show starring Jason and myself, and occasionally we will have alternate hosts as well. We'll have alternate guests as well. We'll have fun, challenges, games, all that stuff still in the works. Check that out in February.
Now, we forgot to do this last show. Shout outs. All right, so I did want to start off with mine. Copper Bot Shots on Instagram. He's a great toy photographer. Does a lot of those giant robots that I like so much. So shout out to Copper Bot Shots. Go check it out and follow him if you would. Good stuff over there.
My shout out is going to be Wirehon, Wirehon. He does a lot of interesting photography. He mainly likes to do a lot of, I guess, what's the word? Deceptive shots. He likes to especially use hot toys in particular, and he will make it so the hot toys are right in front of the camera, but he likes to make it look like he's standing right next to Captain America and Doctor Strange. He does a lot of interesting topics. He does a lot of interesting photo shoots. I think Wirehon is honestly one of the better toy photographers out there, just by the way he does it. So he makes his stuff more interactive. I think that's really interesting.
That sounds cool. My shout out goes to Mitchell Wu Photography. He's got some great stuff, and he is not afraid to use water and anything else that you can think of that looks liquidy. So he really brings some of his photography to life. So I would highly recommend you check him out, because I'm not the only one.
I like it.
I'm not the only one who likes. Yeah, I'm not the only one who likes his stuff. He's got a lot of followers. He's
okay,
good.
This Hot Wheel going through a donut hole is now my favorite shot this guy has done.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
This is a good page.
Yeah.
That right there is a follow for me.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you after the new year. Thank you for joining us, and join us in this little bit of a plastic paradise that we've set for ourselves here. It's very good.
Swole Manbat approves of season 1 of Alternate Heads.
Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow me at JasonYex.
You can follow me at the Near Plasma. I also have brought my comic page back up, and that's at Near Comics.
You can follow me at Bryce Culver on Facebook and Instagram, and Trapdoor Toys on Instagram, and you can follow Swole Manbat on swolemanbat.com.
Jason's going to really have to look over those contract renewals this time.
Follow SCNS Live at SCNS Live, and of course at Alternate Heads Podcast on Instagram. And that's it for us, guys. Always stop and smell the plastic. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.
Migo forever.
Time to take a 2-month long nap.